Hi everyone, I am Shan.
And I am Tam. This is the Real Talk Podcast.
On this podcast, we have some candid conversations between us about love, family, faith, relationships, parenting, work-life balance, and everything in between.
We invite you to not only listen, but interact with us and our guests as we have some real
Talk.
Shan and Tam fam, welcome back to Real Talk, the podcast with Shan and Tam. We hope you've been enjoying the episode so far, and today we have another treat for you. We hope that this will be an inspiring conversation that we're about to have. We have with us DeAndra, and this young lady is a good friend of ours, Michelle Scarlett, her niece. You know, Michelle is a woman on the move, making moves. And she is a good friend of ours and partnered with us in several initiatives. And recently she had a conversation with us that just moved us.
Yes.
And in that conversation, she was telling us how much her young niece has, inspired her and brought her to new realizations about herself and what her attitudes should be about certain things in life. So we have the privilege of talking to that young lady who's inspiring people of other generations. And this is DeAndra, and we're just going to start by asking DeAndra to just tell us a little bit about herself and welcome. The fam welcomes you.
Thank you so much. I'm DeAndra. I was born in Jamaica, Montego Bay. I grew up there for about 15 plus years, and then after my grandma passed away, I had the opportunity to come here to the US and live with my mom in California. But I was also born with a congenital disorder. So my right hand is underdeveloped technically, and I have 5 little fingers and a mini palm. And that's just the way I was born, and that's kind of just how I lived my life throughout the whole time I've been here on earth.
And just meeting with you just now, which is the first time, you have this positive aura about you.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Like positivity just beaming from you. Can you speak a little bit on that in terms of how you've been able to navigate different things that have come up in your life, and if this is a reason why you are the way you are, you have to put up your guard, or is this just who DeAndra is naturally? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. So, as I said before, I was born in Jamaica, lived there, and I lived with my grandma. So as a little kid growing up, of course, I was different. Other kids saw me. They saw me that I was different. Many people in Jamaica saw me and realized that I was different. And one thing about the Jamaican culture is not that we're not really open-minded to different things. So I know growing up, a lot of people saw me and would ask, "What wrong with her Anne? Why her Anne looks so?"
But in a Sambutu way, with yes.
Right. But the great thing about having a grandma is
none.
The great thing about having a grandmother is she always defended me, literally always defended me. Like if someone came up to me and said that, she'd kind of like pull me behind her, like, "What is it to you? What do her hand? What wrong with her hand?" Kind of sense of manner. And after she passed away, I got very deflective, meaning I always, as someone asks me something, I kind of get upset really quickly because I thought they were trying to like be mean to me or whatever the case was. Plus, I did have my own share of people being mean to me while I was in Jamaica in school. So obviously, not obviously, but my parents did send me to a private school when I was younger, because going to a private school, you'd imagine that there would be more shelter, kids wouldn't be as mean, and kids would be more understanding of my disability. But it was completely the opposite. When I tell you, every single day I would get bullied at this private school, and I would go home and I wouldn't say anything, of course, because I never really opened up, or I never really thought anything was really wrong with it. Plus, I just went home and I just wanted to be free of it. That's a good thing about when I was younger. There wasn't much internet bullying during my time, so I just got to go home and be in a safe space, safe zone. But I remember even one day I was on the playground with this little boy, and he kind of says to me, "Oh, you have one hand and you're never gonna get married. Nobody's ever gonna want you. You're gonna be by yourself because no one wants a one-handed girl," and stuff like that. And I remember leaving that day crying and going in my cousin's car, and she was the one seeing me crying, and she got out her car and, like, you know, obviously, like, approached the teacher, because the teacher, I just walked past the teacher, she didn't even ask what was wrong with me, because she thought I was just a cry baby at the time, not knowing like
that
all
you were
these
being bullied
kids would bully me, right? So, you know, after that I went to high school, but even though it was a private high school, there was much more public kids in the high school. It was kids that passed for like bad schools that their parents didn't want them to attend the bad school. So they would save up and send them to this private school. Or like kids who, like for me, I passed for Hampton, but you know, my grandma wasn't going to send me like all the way to Hampton because it was way too far from Montego Bay. And you know, she didn't have transportation to visit me like often as she would want to, you know, and I was like apple of her eyes, so she wasn't going to let me out of her sight for that long. So I remember going to this school, and kids didn't make fun of me per se, like teasing me every day about my hand, but I remember them saying like, "Wani," like, you know, they couldn't remember my name, so they just called me Wani. The first time I heard it, I cried because I was like, I felt like I was being teased again. But then I realized it stuck with me. It was a name that everyone was calling me. It wasn't like they were finding new things to call me every day. It was just this one name, and that just became my nickname. I was Wani. Then I'd seen how they said to another girl, because she had a lot of acne on her face, they called her Greater Face. And I realized they just gave us names based on how we look physically. And I got used to it because I felt more welcomed and I felt more authentic around these people than I ever did around in the private school settings.
Even though it was such a negative thing too.
Yeah, then that's what's going through my head, because I'm thinking that shouldn't happen at all. Right. And to think that that was something that you had to
put up with.
To be natural or normal for you to feel a part of, like, that is something else. That takes a lot of courage for me. Like, I'm thinking that you're brave to just kind of take that on, and a lot of resilience too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like because I heard other kids getting these nicknames, like, you know, the fat person in my class being called Fatty, or the slim person being Slimmers, I just felt like that was just my name, and it just was something everyone was calling, and everyone stuck to it. So it made me feel a part of something, if I'm being honest. You know, it's weird to say that I liked it, but I liked that they involved me in a way that I was called Wani because of my hand. Maybe if I had both hands, because I was so small, they probably would have called me Slimmers. But in this term analogy, I did have one hand, so they called me Wani, but they stuck to it. Versus my private school, it was like they would say such mean stuff, and they'd find a different thing to call me every day. I don't know if you guys know the characters from it's this cartoon called Blue's Clues House or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, I remember watching that with my kids when they were younger. Yes.
This tall red character when I was at my private school. So it was like every day they tried to find a new way of saying I had one hand, versus in high school it was just this one name, Wani, and that was my nickname. That was kind of like this my street name, which, you know, it made me feel included. It made me feel like I was a part of something.
Right.
You know, so then gradually going from that, after my grandma died, as I said, I came here to the US, and it was hard coming here to the US because the culture is different, the people is different, even school was different. You know, I was learning from textbooks and exercise books in Jamaica, and I came here and someone gave me a Chromebook when I got here. And I had a hard time asking for help because I was already the new kid, and I already had the one hand, and I'm the new kid. So I stand out, you know. So I didn't want to make myself stand out anymore by raising my hand in class and saying I don't understand how to use a computer, because I didn't want people to look at me like, "Oh,
how comes?
You don't know how to use a computer?"
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be in class and I would struggle in class and I'd just kind of sit there and kind of like either glimpse over at my table mates, see what they're doing and copy what they're doing, or I would just sit there and just do nothing. And then sometimes I would even just take, like, if I didn't do something, my school had this policy where they had merits and demerits. So demerits, after a while, if it adds up to 3, I believe you get like a detention. I would sit there and get demerits because obviously I'd sit there for the hour and a half not doing anything.
Oh,
And they'd be
okay.
like, oh, if you don't do this, I'm going to give you a
Wow.
demerit. And I'd just
Oh,
take them, you know?
Yeah.
And after a while, I became really depressed because, you know, when you're the new kid, everybody comes up to you and talk to you. But after a week or two, and you kind of like, you're not the new kid anymore, it kind of dies down. I didn't really have any friends. And like the kids already knew each other, so they had their own little clique. So
right.
I didn't really know anyone to talk to or who I wanted to talk to. So I really, really wanted to go back home to Jamaica. Like, you know, that's where my home is. That's yard. Like everybody
Yeah.
down there like love me for me, you know?
Yes, yes,
So
yeah.
it's difficult. And like, you know, here kids, they didn't say it to your face because, you know, they know that disability is a thing here in America,
Right.
but they would speak behind your back like, oh, she has one hand, I don't think she can do this. Or, oh, we're going to the pool, but I don't think we should invite her. She probably
Yeah,
can't
some the
swim. You know, stuff
microaggressions,
like that.
right?
And they wouldn't know that hear them.
Yeah.
So, you know, the microaggression, as you mentioned before, that's basically how it would be. And they wouldn't want to say it to my face because they didn't want to be rude or anything. But, you know, I still overhear, or someone would come back and tell me, or, you know, like if they're arguing or whatever, I'd overhear them say. I know even when I went to college, it was a thing for me as well, which is why, you know, I started like, for a long time after my grandma passed away, I started wearing long sleeves all the time. And I still do now because I still do have my moments where
Right.
I feel insecure
Yes.
about my hand, I would say.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I used to wear long sleeves, even when it's like 100 degrees outside and everybody's like, oh, I'm hot and taking off the clothes.
Right.
I'd keep my hoodie
Yes,
or
yes.
my long sweatshirt on or whatever it is on because I didn't want anyone to see my hand, or like I was used to being stared at
Right.
or called names, but I started to like deflect and say I don't want my friends to get stared, or I don't want my friends to feel away because
Oh,
of me.
okay.
So that was something that I used to do a lot as well, and I sometimes still do, as I say. But you know, I'm trying to get over that. It takes little by little baby steps. You know,
Yes.
I'm trying to like come out of my comfort zone and like starting to wear my short sleeves and my tank tops and stuff like that.
Nice.
But yeah, even when I went to college, I remember we had orientations when we were in groups, and like the guys kind of went off to the side, and you know, the girls kind of went off to the side when we got a break. And I remember the guys overhearing the guys saying like, oh, that girl is cute, or this girl is cute. And like somebody had said that I was cute, and then one of the other guys kind of jumped up and said, oh, did you peep that she have one hand? And like the guy took back his compliments and said, oh, not her, not that shorty, someone else, you know. And in that moment, I felt so, I don't even know if it was sad or if I just felt different. Like my difference just made me feel weird because it was just like, here is someone saying they like me, then someone else pointing out my hand, making them take back the comments of what they're saying.
Yeah. But how have you been able to push past a lot of that? Because, you know, it's been a lot of years that people have been, you know, that's been piling on, and people have been mean, and people have their comments. And how have you been able to, you mentioned depression there too, in a period of your experience. How have you been able to push past that, DeAndra? Because we can tell the listeners right now, you are indeed beautiful.
Yes,
and
you are.
It's not no joke.
Yes, you are.
You are beautiful. How have you been able to push past that and, like Shan said, come into your own and sort of exude that confidence and radiance now, that positivity that we see just talking to you?
To be 100% honest, support. It might sound like, yes, your family is always supporting you and whatever, but having support from your family and finding genuine friends, and I mean genuine, not fake
Yes.
friends or friends just tell you things to your face, but genuine friends who really have your back and support you and like accept you for who you are makes a difference. And like even strangers, just talking to strangers, it
Right.
makes a difference, you know. And I have to say, there's a lot of things where I just fake my confidence until I just gain confidence out of nowhere.
They say you
You
fake
Girl,
it
know?
till you make it. You
fake it
Yeah,
fake
till
it
you
fake
till
it
make
you
till you
it.
make
make
it.
it.
Finger
You
Honestly,
have
snaps.
to
Finger
sometimes.
snaps
honestly,
for that one.
it sounds weird, and you might be like, "What do that girl here?" But honestly, fake it till you make it. Like, you know, if you say you're going to the beach today and you tell yourself you're going to the beach and you're gonna show your hand, go to the beach, show your hand. Go
Yes.
to the beach,
Yeah.
show the stretch marks. Go to the beach, show the belly. Just fake it
Girl,
Yes.
till you make it.
Yes.
Real talk.
real talk.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Yes.
Yes.
it's like you're gonna
I
do it
love
so
it.
often, and the first couple of times you're going to be uncomfortable because people are
Mm-hmm.
going to stare, people are gonna probably point you out or say something. But after a while you're gonna get so used to people staring or so used to people pointing until, you know, people are gonna just be so curious to the point they're just gonna come and ask. And when they ask you and
Yeah.
you tell them what happened, they respect you for it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and they look at
Yes.
you and they get inspired for it. So just make it till you make it, because
Yeah.
sometimes it is just hard to say you can just do something. It is not as easy to just do something, especially, you know, when a lot of people are saying like, come on, there's nothing to it, you can just do it. You know, it's easier said than done.
Yes.
So you
Mm-hmm.
just gotta
Yes.
put your mind to it and tell yourself, like, you know what, today is the day I'm gonna go out there and I'm going to the beach and I'm showing my hand off. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just it. I don't like, if somebody wanna stare me down, if somebody wanna chat me, you know, you just tell yourself that's gonna happen, you know,
I
Yes.
love
and you
it.
just put on your big girl coat and you just tell
And put on a big girl panty,
Yeah, put on
yes,
it.
just take
I
right?
it.
love
And
it.
push out.
I
But
love
you
it.
know,
Yep,
DeAndra,
definitely.
you're talking here, and even you came on, you mentioned your grandmother
Yeah.
so many times.
Yes,
Tell
yes.
us about your grandmother, because
Yes.
I
Oh,
believe your grandmother has paved the way
Yeah.
and shaped you into the woman you are
most
today,
definitely. Most definitely.
right? Yeah. So tell us about
Yeah.
this wonderful woman, because I
Yes.
know that
Oh,
she, like, I don't know her, but I know she had a great impact on who you are today.
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely. I don't even, when it comes on to my grandma, where to start? Oh
You
man.
should, yeah, I wish the listeners could see this big smile on her face, man. Like she's just lighting up.
You're beaming.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, my grandmother was a strong-willed person, like really strong-willed, and she was very, very. She was on my side. That's all I know
Yes.
for sure. Like she was always on my side. She wanted the best for me. She put forth anything great she heard about. She would be like, DeAndra needs this or DeAndra needs that, you know, in order to help her become the best person she can be.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing she never did was treat me different. So
Mm-hmm.
she
Yeah.
never stopped me from doing things. You know, like how some people might see me with one hand, and as I said before, in the previous example, where people would assume, oh, I cannot swim because I have one hand. She
Mm-hmm.
should have put me in swimming lessons. She would have told me if I climb the tree, if I want to climb the tree, or if I'm climbing the gate, she would tell everybody, leave her. Like she climb the gate if she want to climb the gate, you know?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
She didn't put
she
limits on you.
no
No.
limits at all,
Right.
not at
Yes.
all. You know, she tell people to just leave me, let me be who I want to be, let me do what I want to do. You know, as long as I'm not doing anything to hurt nobody else or harm anyone else, let me be me. You know,
Yeah.
she always makes sure the best was there for me. Meaning, she always had the good uniform. My uniform got sent to the dry cleaners every week. I got a warm meal when I came through the gates upon arrival. You know,
Nice.
when I was little and I was going to school, she ensured she got a driver for me to bring me home and pick me up from school. And if the driver couldn't make it, she herself taking a taxi to come and get me. Like she
Why
did not
we
play
all need
about
a
me.
grandmother like that, man.
Oh man. When it came out to she didn't play. I remember like when I was little, would want to play in my when my auntie was building up her house. She, you know, the sand where you used to build up houses in Jamaica.
Yes.
Should I get the truck man to bring it up to the house and throw it in near to where the construction site was? And I'm as a kid, I'm saying, oh, sand. So I'm gonna go for bucket and water and I'm playing as the sand. But when you're playing the sand, the work sand like that, it starts to sieve out into the ground. So after a while, it's like I'm basically losing your money out and whatever.
Wow.
So she told me like, oh no, DeAndra, come out of the sand. DeAndra, come out of the sand. And I wouldn't listen. I'm there, me and the dog and the sunny. The dog got dig one side, me the big on the next side. And like one day she comes out with a belt and she's like, "Yes, I'm not telling you." I just ran up to the top house where my grandmother is. Only thing I saw was my grandma come out and I said, "No, beat her. Don't put your hands on her. Don't meet her. Don't meet her. If you ever meet her, me hand it to them.
You really couldn't do nothing wrong for her.
Dear grandmother, I know.
Anything wrong.
Wow.
And she did not play about anybody. You know what? Nobody touched me, and nobody of course, anyone can reprimand me if I was doing something wrong. She believed in that. And, she even told the teachers, I'm like, if you have to beat her, left her to yard them. Beat her, left her to yard them.
We Jamaican.
I know, we're not easy. But man,
apart from that, she just always had my back, man. Always wanted the best for me.
Yeah. And you need people in your life, as what you said, Tam, that sees you and not who you are. Because she didn't place limits on you. Right?
Nope.
She allowed you to be authentically you.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Tam and I did a devotion a few months ago. I think Broken Crayon Still Color.
Oh yeah.
And it talks about people with different imperfections, but not because we're imperfect means that we can't still do or we're not beautiful, right? We're all beautiful in our own ways. So I'm happy to hear that you had a grandmother that she saw who you are. She saw your potential. She saw your giftings. She saw your passion and your purpose. She didn't see your disability, right?
No.
And she didn't place limits on you.
And that doesn't define who you are, right?
Right.
Because I believe that in everybody, regardless of what it is that imperfection may be, there's greatness built inside of you.
Of course.
I see that for everyone. It's just for us to tap into that, right?
Yeah.
And to live that to its fullest, because we all have talents, and some talents we don't even know that we have.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so funny.
Yes.
It's so funny because I was walking the other day with Auntie Michelle, she was kind of just like talking to me about some random stuff. And I said to her, I used to kind of do like cornrow here, right? And she's like, what? So what now? And I was like, yeah. And then I showed her the picture and she's like, oh my God, DeAndra, I saw your bad pie here. Like, look on the style, like, you get to go on stand. Like, I did it, but then again, as kids, sometimes we get in trouble and our parents find punishments for us. So when I got in trouble, that was the thing my mom would take away from me, was the dolly head. And you used to have a dolly head, like one of those cosmetic dolly heads.
Yes.
So when I got in trouble or when I, had the bad grades or whatever, she would take away the dolly head. So after a while, I kind of got uninspired to do it, I would say. So I kind of just put it down and I stopped doing the hair thing. But and even now, I'm a great swimmer. A lot of people don't know that. Most things others do, I can do it. I just do it either differently, or it might take me a little longer to do it than the average human with two hands.
Right.
But I can do it, and I don't ever tell myself that I can't do something. And if it's something new, I like to try before I can say, oh, no, I can't do that. I try first before I say that.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
It might take you a little bit longer, but you will do it and you can do it.
Yes, you know what? You just dropped something in my spirit that I'm going to adopt for myself. Try it before you say you can't do it. Because I personally, I have a tendency to do that. I'll tell myself or I'll say, no, I can't do that. But try it before you say you can't do it.
Real talk.
Real talk. Girl, that That one is
Honestly.
going to stick with me. Trust me.
Definitely, honestly, because sometimes you look at something and you're like, "Oh, I don't think, like I see everyone doing it," and that's the thing. It's like a lot of people around me has two hands, and I see them do things with both their hands. And it's like, probably you would think, oh, maybe I'm thinking to myself, I can't do it because everyone I see you doing it is using two hands. Nope, I try. I go
Good.
ahead and I try. And if I do it, I do it. And, if I need some help, I'll ask for help. But I want to try for myself first. Let me prove to myself that I cannot do it
Do
before
it.
I ask for the help. I don't like
Yeah.
when people assume I need help or whatever, I
Right.
like to try first before I ask for help. So trying, nothing beats a failure but a trial.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Yes.
just try.
I love that. And, you are definitely an inspiration. And I hope
Absolutely.
the listeners have taken something from this evening with just this conversation, because just sitting here with you just a few minutes, you've impacted my life.
I know.
Right. And and Tam and I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and your journey with us. I know that we could possibly connect with you again.
Yeah.
Just
course,
to tap
of
in to
course.
see how you're doing
Yeah.
and
Yes.
different things
What's
after this
next?
episode. Yeah, have
Yeah.
lunch.
Oh, definitely. Right now, I'm on track to, I just graduated college last year as a health science major.
Congratulations.
I
Thank
know.
you. Thank you. And I'm on track of becoming a PA. So I need a couple more classes to apply for PA programs. But that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, I just literally I've had doubts about it. And I just met someone who has literally the same hand as me, and she got into a top league school, and she's gonna be a medical doctor, an MD.
Yeah, I
It
think I saw
just made
Michelle
me,
posted that.
Yes,
yeah, and it
I
just
saw
made me
the post,
more
Michelle. Yeah.
inspired.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It made me so much more inspired because it was like I wanted to do it, but I was kind of like iffy about it because I've never really seen anyone, not on TV, not in
Oh,
real life. I've never seen anyone with my disability go into the medical
really?
field. So
Okay.
to see someone with the exact same disability as me actually going up the ladder,
Yes.
it's like, it's bizarre. It's like so mind blowing, and it's just so exciting to see
Yeah.
because now seeing that give me even more drive to go for the dream I want to go for,
Love it.
and not
Love
feeling
it.
like I can't do it. So I'm just so excited for that journey
And
and that new
Yes.
chapter within my life.
tell us what PA means, because a lot of people listening might not know exactly what that means. What
Yeah,
is it
so
that you're trying?
a PA is a physician assistant.
Right.
It's someone who works literally just beneath a doctor.
Yeah.
And we are able to treat patients and give them medications. Certain things you will need a doctor to sign off on, but certain things you're just going to do on your own. That is what a physician assistant is.
Wonderful. I am looking forward to hearing about that journey.
Your journey.
Yes.
I know that Tam and I are rooting for you, DeAndra.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank
we're
you
rooting
so much.
for
I
you.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. And the viewers are as well too. And Shan and Tam fam, yes, it was an honor to sit with this magnificent powerhouse this evening. Drop us a comment, share, like. Let us know what you think about Miss DeAndra, her story, her grandmother, right? Her journey. And let us know other topics that you like Tam and I to discuss. But for now, thank you so much. And we will be back again with more conversations on Real Talk.
Bye, fam. Walk good.
Don't forget to visit Shan and Tam on all their social media websites. At Sisters Shan and Tam on Instagram, Shan Tam Lodge-Lee on Facebook, and check out their blogs at shanandtam.blogspot.com. Tune in again next time on Real Talk.